so this message is going to be quick. I want you to write down a few questions. The first question is define the 80-20 rule.
Define what?
Define the 80-20 rule, right? I'll give you the answer to this one, so you could write down the answer as well. And it's that 20% of what you do creates 80% of your results. 20% of what you do creates 80% of the results that you get. Now, the next question is, we've discussed that according to Gary Keller, there are 5 things that you do that are part of your 20%. Just 5. Now, if you looked at a job description of a real estate agent, there's more than 100 items on that job description. And of that 100 plus, only 5 make up your 20%. Now, what are the 5 things that make up the 20%? I'll give you the answer as well. And say it right along with me if you know the answer, it's lead generation. It's face-to-face appointments with buyers and sellers. It's taking seller listings. It's writing offers and negotiating contracts. And practicing and role-playing your scripts. Now, those are the 5 things that make up your 20%. Next question. What's the focusing question from Gary Keller's book, The One Thing? Now, if you know the answer, raise your hand. Shirley, go ahead.
What's the one thing that I can do that by doing it will make everything easy or unnecessary?
Nailed it. Great job, Shirley. She's my new favorite. So what's the one thing that I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? Last question. Who loves lead generation? Raise your hand if you love lead generation. Raise your digital hand if you're on Zoom. Raise your physical hand if you're in the room. And look at all these hands going up. I love that. Now, challenge. And keep your hand up if you accept the challenge. Prove it. Convince me. Convince me that you love lead generation. Aaron, go for it. Convince me that you love lead generation.
I believe that actions speak louder than words.
Okay, actions speak louder than words. Cool. Now, if I were to look at your calendar and I'd say, Aaron, pop out your calendar for me right now. Let me see it. And but I see time blocked in your calendar every day for lead generation. Yes or no?
This week, yeah.
This week, yeah. And have you defined what lead generation is in your calendar? Are you tracking lead generation activities? This is for everybody, so don't feel like I'm yelling at you because I'm not. Yeah, I'm coaching. Is it defined in your calendar so that when you look at your calendar, you know, 1, I have time blocked for lead generation every day. 2, I have daily standards that I must hit in order to be able to put a check next to that box, lead generation completed. And 3, I'm doing those activities consistently. Now, if lead generation is 20 conversations, or it's 10, or it's 5, whatever the number is for you, and if it's phone calls, if it's door knocking, if it's networking, if it's standing in line at Starbucks and talking to everybody that comes in, whatever it is to you, right? Convince me that you love lead generation means, John, here's proof that I'm in lead generation every day. Right, Clarissa?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, anybody want to take that challenge? Anybody want to prove to me that you're in lead generation every day? Aaron's hand is up.
Okay.
Clarissa's hand is kind of up. It's like one of these, which is, I don't know what. Talk to me, Clarissa.
So if I show you my calendar.
Yeah.
It's there. It
Okay.
is totally there.
All right.
But this goes into, page 291
Hmm,
in MREA,
yeah,
because I struggle. I'm still struggling.
we're all a work in
to get it-
progress.
To
Yeah.
get it done and
Yeah.
to be faithful and to commit to my own lead generation that I say I'm gonna do. That's
Yeah.
in my calendar.
Yep, think progress, not perfection.
Right. And on page 291, it talks about the 5 simple steps that you can lead. Lead you to great focus and open up a world of possibilities in your business and in your life. Number 1, create a personal plan and make process your focus.
Yep.
So I got a plan. I'm great at creating plans and
Hmm.
schedules. Number 2, time block to get your focus.
Okay.
Great at that. I can do it. Number 3, get accountability to keep your focus.
Hmm.
Number 4, make sure your environment supports your focus.
Hmm.
And number 5, keep your energy to maintain your focus. So I'm struggling with 3 and 4. If I can get past that, I think I will see the results of what you're asking. That 20%, am I defining it? Do I do the 5 things that's most important? And that focus question and loving lead generation. So I just, yeah.
So here's what I want you to do, because that was great. Awesome job. Thank you. I want you to go through that list again. And if anybody that is with us via Zoom, if you could just type Shirley's response in the chat. Shirley, if you could open it, don't worry about it.
Open the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the big screen, everybody could see it. And read that list to us again. And I know we have some speed typers out there. So whoever that person is, just click away.
Okay, so.
Go for it.
Number 1, create a personal plan
Create a plan.
and make process your focus.
Okay.
Number 2, time block to get your focus.
Okay.
3, get accountability to keep your focus.
Okay. So if I can come to your office every day and just sit there and watch you
Oh my God.
and
Yes.
and you knew that I was not going to leave until you had completed lead
Yes.
generation for that day, all of those other things that show up as distractions in your life would go away because I'm watching you.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, but absolutely.
Well, is that not possible, guys? I mean, could you pay somebody to sit there and watch you lead generate and tell them, here's your job. Your job is to keep me focused. Could you do that? Say, yes, you
Yeah.
could. All right, keep reading.
Okay. Does Shirley have 3? You got 3, Shirley? Get accountability to keep your focus.
Get
I'm not a
accountability.
fast typer, but I'm working on it.
Okay, thank you, Shirley. We love you. Number
And
4.
number 4, make sure your environment supports your focus.
There you go. Make sure your environment supports your focus.
And then number 5, keep your energy to maintain your focus.
Keep your energy to maintain your focus. Love that. All right, there we are. Now I want to tag onto that page 51 from Shift. Here's what Gary has to say. Page 51 in Shift. All right, so Gary says, let's face facts. Lead generating to find potential customers just might not be your favorite business subject. So if you're not one of those people who raised your hand when I asked who loves lead generation, that's okay. You don't have to like it. You don't. You have to do it. You don't have to like it. If you're like most, it probably isn't why you got into real estate, and it isn't something that gets you excited to go to work every day. You know, it's been 20 years since I was in real estate school to get my license. So you guys remind me, especially those of you who have been in real estate school in the last year or two, do they talk about lead generation at real estate school? Is there any questions on the state exam on lead generation? This never came up, did it?
No, they don't even mention.
Interesting.
Only they teach you how you step out of jail.
Oh, there you go, stay out of jail. All right. You know what? Go to jail if you get some leads. I'm fine with it. All right. Truth, however, is that you actually got into two businesses. You got into the helping people with their real estate needs business, and you got into the lead generation business. Now, at the bottom of the page, Gary says, I must admit, now he's talking about his personal experience as a real estate agent. I must admit that I honestly didn't enjoy or fully embrace the lead generation part of our business at first. It wasn't until I realized that lead generating was something I had to do and master. Underline that word, circle that word, asterisk that word. You have to master lead generation. You cannot go to college and get a minor in lead generation and be successful as a real estate agent. You need your master's degree in order to get to do the things I really enjoy doing, that I actually bucked down and got serious about it. Lead generation he's talking about. And then something magical happened. The more I did it, the more I was in lead generation, the better I got. And the better I got, the more I liked it. Carolyn, your hand's been up for a while. Thank you for your patience. Talk to me.
Basically, what I was going to say was, due to this lovely virtual community, that you can sign up for a power hour where all the agents do go online.
Yeah.
They lead in together for a period of time. And at the end, they group up to tell each other what they did. So that's an accountability group, and there's multiple.
All right, guys, I know what she's talking about. I'm going to translate it for you. So Carolyn, that signal was not so great. It sounded like you were underwater or something. And I know what you're talking about. So what she's talking about is there are communities that you can participate in that get together and lead generate as a group. In other words, just imagine if this group, all of you, there's 20 on Zoom, rounded off, and 10, 12, 15 of you in the room. So 30, let's just make it 30. If the 30 of you got together every day and you lead generated as a group, and you know people are watching you, they're holding you accountable to hit your standards. Absolutely, this is a great idea. And like Carolyn said, these groups already exist.
They do.
They 100% do.
Yeah.
Highly recommended.
There are many of them. There were about five,
Yep.
5, 6, 7.
Highly recommended. The reason that I picked this today, and we're going to wrap it up. If you have something you want to share, an aha, just raise your hand in the air. I want 2 or 3, and then we're going to go right into practicing and role playing our scripts. The reason I wanted to share this with you today is we're in a market where listings are very difficult to find. Yes or yes?
Yes.
We're in a market where properties that are going on the market sell very quickly with multiple offers. So you've got a challenge as a real estate agent representing a buyer, getting that buyer into a property and getting an offer accepted. Solution, lead generation. Find somebody who's thinking of selling their home before their home goes on the market. If your goal is to take 2 listings a month, 3 listings a month, 4 listings a month, whatever that goal is, you're in a market where that's very difficult to do because there's a lot of competition for those listings. And there are fewer people listing their homes. Yes or yes? Yes. Right. And when you've mastered lead generation and you are doing the activities of lead generation every day, will you get more listings? Mm-hmm. Yes, you absolutely will. So 20%. The 80-20 rule says that 20% of what I do creates 80% of the results that I get. And The one thing focus question is, what's the one thing that I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? That one thing is lead generation. It's the first domino. If you just focus on that first domino every day and you don't do anything else until lead generation is complete, you're going to create a geometric progression, which means when you knock over that first domino, the next domino is 50% taller than the first domino. The third domino is 50% taller than the second domino. And I think by domino number 18, if I remember the book, The One Thing, by domino number 18, I'm at the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
In other words, lead generate every day. And you'll build a really big business. Michael Topo, your hand is up. And
John,
yes,
I love the fact that you said, if you have a buyer, lead gen for that buyer. That's really smart, right? Because essentially you have an opportunity to double end the deal. Haha, good job.
yep.
The other thing I wanted to kind of touch back on, you were having a conversation with Clarissa